You can't force a wholesaling real estate deal. What's up, guys? Zach in here, and in today's video, me and Rick are going to talk to somebody who is struggling getting to find their first wholesaling deal, and they want to know if this is a wholesaling deal or not. And really, we're going to break down exactly how to see if a good deal is a good deal or not, or if it's a bad deal. It comes down to asking the right questions and really doing your own due diligence and homework on the lead. So in this video, we're going to do a lead review for someone and seeing if it's a good deal or not in their wholesaling real estate business, and maybe some tips and success tricks at the end. So before we get into it, guys, remember you need to smash that like button and subscribe to get the most free value from me. Let's get in the video.
She's
Hey,
muted.
sorry. Can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we can
My
hear
bad. Yeah, I'm having issues with the webcam since I've gotten this or had this computer.
you. That's okay. No big deal.
So I literally have a cluster type deal on my hands that would potentially be the first one. And I have no idea how to put this together because it involves vacant land, residential. And then there's another lot right behind it that has a house his granddad built on some property. And it's also got a tenant that has the renter's right of refusal in place. So I was thinking, okay, my first deal is going to be a little bit more simple than this, but yeah, I need advice or help or JV or anything I can take.
Okay, so tell us where you're at in the deal. Like, is it under contract? Are you in?
No, so I called the gentleman today. He said a lot of people have been trying to get in touch with him, and he said he hadn't tried to talk to anybody else, so he elaborated with me. So this would be, I know I still have to ask more questions, but with this being so many things to try and learn really fast to know the right questions to ask, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, so let me ask you how long have you started this journey? And have you done any training? Have you gone through freewholesaling.com? Or you used anybody else's course?
So I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and I've been studying hard and heavy through y'all's channels, a few others for maybe 2 weeks now, where I've only had maybe 4 hours of sleep each night.
Oh boy. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I'm in it deep. So
this property it's a piece of vacant land. What else?
There is another lot behind it with a rental property sitting on it that was built in 1924.
Okay.
He gave me details on it, said that the tenant has been keeping up the property and updates, and she's been there for like 8 to 10 years. The vacant lot is, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. The house is like 1,346 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. And then that lot, he said, was like 50 by 50.
Okay. Did he give you, did you get to any numbers or his reason for possibly selling?
Oh, yeah. So he said that he's 73 and him and his wife want to retire, and he wants this offered as a package deal. And apparently he hasn't really gotten the right price yet.
Okay. Has he told you what the right price is?
He said that he did get an offer that was around $205,000 in a postcard.
Okay.
But he said that he didn't even pay attention to it and he threw it away. But that's the only price he mentioned.
Yeah. So I can't help you with values on there. And
yeah, no, the valuation I can handle. It's all these other factors in it at once. Like, I have no idea what questions to ask.
Okay. So everything. First thing, Christy, right?
Yes, sir.
Just take a deep breath. You're only 2 weeks into it. So it's not, honestly, if you don't do a deal with this guy, the idea is you make progress and move forward.
Right.
The reality is not every deal works out. Actually, most deals don't work out. That's just safe to say. So, the hardest part is getting past some of your internal fears on talk. To be honest with you, if you really look at it now, unfortunately, I've been doing this a long time, so you're dealing with a house, an older house, and a piece of vacant land. It's just 2 parts. You just need to price them out like that. and you have to have some common sense in the number. If he's asking 200 and the thing's comping out at 100, beware of what's going on here, because I don't like when people use if I get the right price, or like I was terrible at the price is right. Like whenever I used to hear that, I'm just like,
You're still bad at
the
it.
odds of motivation are usually slim to none. Now, he's older and he needs to retire.
Right.
So there might be opportunity, but it doesn't mean he's going to give you a good price. What I would do is I would go through your basic comping. It's too easy to comp a property today. Like you have more tools available to you now.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay a dime. You just do internet search. You've got to get an idea of the value and see if he's way off the mark or not. I have no idea. Have
Right.
you know what values go in is it in your
Yeah, I
area?
tried looking up the vacant lots.
Yeah.
I think even up to a mile out, and couldn't really gauge anything. There was not. I don't think there
So
was
is
anything.
it connected to the other piece of property with the rental on it?
Technically, but there's like a fence separating it. He
Okay.
said.
So a lot of people, I would probably try to sell that whole package deal together, because people like to buy a house and everybody wants the option to buy the piece of property next to them.
Yeah, and that's how he
part-
wants the deal.
Yeah. The other part of it, he said the tenant has the option to buy it. The tenant will never buy it. If they haven't bought it by now, they're never going to buy it.
Is that what that right of refusal is for? Like
they can. So hey, here, tenant, it's $200,000. You want to buy it? And get them out of the way. Like they're never going to buy it. Like it's not like, I always tell them, like, why don't you present it to the tenant? And if they don't buy it, then I would be happy to follow up with you. Like you got to he sounds like he has to go through a few more stages here. Now, some of these landlord owners like this, sometimes they have unrealistic values, what they think the number is.
Okay.
I don't want you wasting your time with them. If it's valued at 100 and he's asking 200, you're so far off the mark. I don't want you to spend energy. And I wouldn't advise you to go see him unless you can get past that. So identify the valuation. And so freewholesaling.com has almost everything you need. But if you already know the value. So if it's 100,000 and you already know it's worth 100,000 and you ask him what it's worth and you know the answer, this is where it's fun.
Yeah.
So here's when you say it's 100, he goes, well, it's 205. And just say, hey, John, whatever his name is, how did you come up with that number? And just shut your mouth and see, watch what comes out of his mouth, because that's going to tell you what his motivation is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want you getting in your car, wasting time with people. Like I used to do this all the time in the beginning. And you got to make sure you're dealing with the seller. You got somebody of sound mind. Because I just like this in this world, you still don't go out and just go see people for no reason. So find what the comp is on it. There's plenty of resources out there. Use your PropStream account, Zillow, whatever you got to do, and see if he's even in the ballpark. And you'd be surprised he might not be in it.
I did evaluate the house, and its ARV is between like 160 and 166 ish.
Yeah, and then you just got to figure out what the lot's worth, right?
Exactly, and that's my problem.
So he basically wants retail. Like you don't even have to do a lot of like.
I mean, Christy, I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna be very disheartening. You're not gonna learn all of wholesaling real estate in 2 weeks.
No.
I knew that. I just
it's gonna be a solid 2 years.
But you will learn. You will learn through the process of doing this. And what I'm teaching you is
still make $100K a year your first year. Like that's easy.
You just learn to qualify them. So if you go to freewholesaling.com and learn about like the qualifications, that's the main part of it. Like once you do a few of them, you start to you get in a rhythm. Yeah. And so if it's
just ask the 4 pillars, right? Motivation, commission, time frame, price.
So if it's coming at 165 and he's at okay, I'll take 130. Okay, we can continue this conversation. But when they come in double the number, I just don't spend a lot of energy. I'm like, how did you come up with that number? And you know what the reality is? He's probably says, I need this amount of money so I can retire to take care of my wife. Hey, listen, I get it, but we have to see what the house can afford. I got to bring you back to the asset. And it's so just start out with some basic questions like that and just kind of have fun with it. I personally feel like he thinks it's worth $1 million, and if you'll pay it. But the problem is you got to turn around and sell it to someone. And if there's no money on the table, move on to find something else that has money. And now you know what kind of an unmotivated seller looks like.
Right. And plus, I mean, I'm starting to realize this whole renter's right of refusal, if they're not wanting to move, the new buyer won't be able to collect, even more rent either. So,
Yeah, but that's that just comes down to, so whenever you buy a rental property, you want to get a copy of the lease. Don't listen to what they tell you. Get a copy of the lease, or just go, listen, can you just give me the highlights? What I like to hear is it's month to month. And, hopefully if they've paid every month, they're usually keeping it up. The reality is a lot of them, they're not paying their rent. The renter's difficult and they're trying to sell you with the renter in there. I'll do that, but there's a price for that. So
Yeah,
remember,
you
you're
did-
just buying the terms of what's in there. The only ones I cannot buy is when somebody has like a life estate. They're rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reverse
like
mortgages.
Reverse
stuff like that.
mortgages and stuff like that. But it's,
See,
No,
the
tell-
odd thing on this one is he said that the tenant that's living there has been renting between 8 to 10 years, and that she's been keeping up with updating the house, like upgrading the electrical. Like he named off a lot of stuff. And then to touch back on the price point, I asked several different questions to lead to, what would you think it's worth? And he was like, I really don't know, because he hasn't tried to get an offer for both properties together. So, yeah.
just, you can spend time on the phone. I wouldn't go and visit it, because it sounds like this. God only knows what kind of agreement he has with this tenant. They might have to have like a real option, and you're literally wasting your time.
Okay.
Because listen, how many times have you put money in a property, you think if you were renting the property, you wouldn't be upgrading the electrical system without,
True.
if you had some sort of agreement to buy the property. So, and you could run the fact where they might want to rip it all out when they're said and done. I think he has some sort of underlying agreement with them, and I wouldn't spend a lot of energy on this. I'm just,
Okay.
No, I would dive a little deeper in it, see if they can give you a better price.
How much are they paying in rent? Do you know?
I didn't think to ask that question. He was trying to.
So rent's the most important piece of your equation, because
I had interrupted his evening. He was trying to leave with a neighbor to go eat. And Southern hospitality, you don't take a man away from their food. So
I get the same way here.
I pulled as much info as I could out of him.
So how'd you get up? Were you cold calling him?
Yeah. So I had been working on a list last night until like 3 in the morning, doing code violations.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
So this one had tall grass on the vacant lot, and I just called him up since it was getting close to 5, and I was like, oh shit, this could be the first one, and I don't know jack.
Yeah. So Chrissy, the good news is you're actually taking action. You're pulling lists. You're following the advice. You're making cold calls, and you're only 2 weeks into it. You're fine. Like, breathe. I'm telling you, you're well on your path, because this isn't overnight, but it can happen like pretty quickly. So
yeah,
talk to him, find out what the rents are, ask a few more questions, see where you go. Most rental properties, there's 2 ways to comp them. One is traditional comps. They look around, but like, look at the rent. If someone's only paying $800 a month and somebody wants $200,000 for the property, mathematically, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Like, so like a rule of thumb is, if they were paying for that house to be worth like 200 grand, the renter should be paying around 2 grand a month. That's just like basic investing rules type of deal. Like, if it's discount a little bit more, they've been here 8-10 years, I didn't want to raise it. But if they're paying 700 or 800 and he's wanting like a much bigger number, why wouldn't you just raise the rents then?
Agreed.
Right.
So
yeah.
Look at the rent. It's going to tell you a lot. 8 to 10 years. You got high grass and stuff like that. The renter might just, I got a feeling they got like a verbal agreement with the landlord. This guy looks a little, sounds a little,
yeah.
I see this all the time in the older landlords, a little slippery, man.
Yeah. I would just go do some due diligence on it and just keep going to more leads. That'd be my.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're on the right path. Keep pulling a list, keep doing what you're doing, and just learn from it. And never, ever, if you're brave enough to do the cold calling, which God bless you, because I'm not a cold caller. He's the cold caller.
Driving for dollars is way better in Dallas, though.
Yeah, but my wheel hub assembly is going out on my truck, and I got to replace the axle. So I hadn't been trying to drive. I've been focusing on this instead of fixing my truck.
I get it.
Yeah, you can do the cold calling. You're fine. Just work them on the phone, ask a few more questions, and if the motivation's not there, you can't force these deals to work, especially in wholesaling.
Right. Okay.
So
Well, I appreciate the advice. I can
now
breathe
keep
a little
going
bit
and
better.
use the free wholesaling.com and go through each of the modules, but focus on like the qualifying. Obviously, you figured out the list part, and just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll be amazed at what you're going to accomplish.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all.
Okay, we appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching that video today. If you want more free value for wholesaling real estate, remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, if you want to join the best wholesaling real estate mentorship in the planet and join the wholesaling course that has the most people in it in the history of the world for wholesaling real estate, go to freewholesaling.com. It's free. There's no gimmicks. There's no upsells in this course. It is an absolute free wholesaling course. I've been told to charge thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I give it out for free. So like this video and subscribe. Join the movement for wholesaling real estate and go to freewholesaling.com and join my Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group. That is the largest mastermind in the country of like-minded wholesaling entrepreneurs who want to get connected absolutely for free and learn wholesaling real estate. Guys, I'll hope to see you there. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Have a blessed one.